Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Shermaine, aka Terry McGinnis, coming at y'all with a sort of a discussion video today. I want to talk about why don't more people play fighting games? Why don't more people get into fighting games? Now, let me preface by saying, something I've said before previously a bunch of times, is I'm not a fighting game player by trade, you know? Somebody who is a fighting game player could probably explain this a lot better than I can, but I wanted to talk about it anyways because I just find it a little odd that a lot of people don't even touch fighting games, really. It's a very, very, very foreign genre of games to them. And I find it kind of amusing how people that play games competitively, whether that be for money or not, just have a general sense of competitiveness to them. They don't get into games that really exemplify what you are capable of doing. So, like I said, I'm not a fighting game player by heart, but I've come from a position where I think a lot of people have been, that being on the outside looking in, really, of watching fighting games either directly or kind of indirectly, and just being somewhat interested in fighting games but don't really want to get into it so much. I'm surprised and not surprised, because one definite reason is the times we live in. A lot of gamers have other priorities to take care of, for example, bills, family, car, school of any kind, and a plethora of other responsibilities. The casual gamer is the large majority of the gaming community. They play whatever's fun and never dive deeper than that. Obviously, as many of you know, that's why Call of Duty and sports games are so popular. They're fun, they're easy to play, they don't require much skills. They're time killers, in essence. I was similar growing up, you know. Thankfully, I matured as a gamer as I was going through high school, and it opened up so many different avenues of gaming, and I'm so grateful to have explored that, and fighting games is definitely one of them. Competitive gaming is huge, and it's growing, as y'all know, but I just find it puzzling why a lot of people don't play fighters competitively or even touch them for that matter. Anybody that has a shred of competitive edge to them loves to win, loves to play high-level competition and display their skills. And I think to myself, what better way to encompass those three things than a fighting game? I think fighting games are miles above other games in terms of competitiveness. It's one-on-one, it's your skills versus theirs. I've thought to myself and come up with a few reasons why I think most people don't play fighting games competitively. Those would be the time you have to invest, the skill gap and learning curve, and the difficulty. Now, to get good at a fighting game takes a long time. It takes a lot of time. You can't just pick up and start wrecking shop. No, not at all. It takes time. It's a large investment to develop skills in a fighting game. I can put myself in your shoes. I didn't play fighting games ever. I'm excluding Mortal Kombat for this discussion. You know, I bought Street Fighter 4 because I liked Ryu and Ken, basically. That was it. I didn't understand anything, but throwing Hadoukens was always fun. The whole "you're just doing the same move over and over again." Yeah, I used to be one of those people. So believe me, I understand how it is, and I didn't understand a damn thing. I didn't know what a cross-up was. I didn't know what overhead crushes a low. I didn't know what frame data was. Guys, trust me, I've been there. Now let's take an example. Let's take Call of Duty. When we talk about studying a game in comparison to a fighting game, we talk about taking Call of Duty versus a fighting game and just pure studying, going to school on it. It's like studying a note card versus studying a textbook. In Call of Duty, you have to become familiar with maps, kill streaks, gun ranges, and of course opponents' patterns, where they choose to go on the map and their tendencies while playing. You do this for every map, every kill streak. Guns can be grouped together usually when it comes to optimal ranges and uses and usability. The differences in most guns are minute, with the exception of guns that obviously distinguish themselves from the pack. You know, for example, if you have a general sense of SMG ranges, you know that at medium range with an assault rifle, you really shouldn't have anything to worry about, because an SMG obviously is it's a lot stronger at closer range. So you shouldn't have anything to worry about unless someone is using, let's say, the AK-74U from Black Ops 1. And you know, guns similar to like that are clearly better than others. You know, now let's take Advanced Warfare. We have 13 maps in the game, which you have to learn in great detail to become familiar with routes taken, advantageous spots in your own route. That's a lot of time right there for all 13 maps. Now, let's take Ultra Street Fighter 4, for example. Now, first off, you must learn the general mechanics of the game you are playing. Street Fighter plays a lot different from Marvel, a lot different from Tekken, and a lot different from Killer Instinct. So, in a vacuum, Tekken is all about juggles and strings, whereas KI is about its unique combo system. Now, there's a hell of a lot more to both games, but I'm just dumbing it down for the sake of explanation. Now, as a player, you must learn and know what you are playing. Similar to how baseball and cricket may look the same, but they are vastly different. You must learn what is and what is not possible within the game you are playing. That alone takes time to become familiar with just the basics, the basic of basics, such as character movement, how the meter system works, health, the essence of a combo, and your chosen game. We haven't even discussed normal, special moves, and frames yet, guys. That sounds like a lot of work? That's because it is. Now you begin to transition to your main character. Ultra Street Fighter 4 has 44 characters, and out of all of those, most likely you're going to select only one that suits your playstyle. But that doesn't mean you're only going to learn one character. So let's take Ryu as an easy example. Shotos are generally the most straightforward, accessible, and convenient characters to learn for new players. That's because they have very simple special moves that are easy to apply in a fight. Now you go to the lab and you start learning Ryu. First, you learn what his normals look like. You press all the buttons to see visually how your character moves. You find the maximum and minimum ranges of your normals where they will hit your opponent. You can also turn on hitboxes, which will help establish this in your mind for an additional visual aid. If you're asking what are hitboxes, that's another thing to study up right there. So now you learn the frames of each normal, how much startup does it have, the active frames, the recovery, invincibility if applicable. Now you learn the same thing for your character specific command attacks, jumping attacks, etc. Now you learn all those things, all the same things for your character, for your special moves, your enhanced special moves, and your game specific mechanic like ultras and super moves from Street Fighter, or your instinct ability in Killer Instinct. Now once you've done that, congratulations, you learned the basics of the game and your character. This is just the beginning of learning a fighting game, because if you want to get seriously good, you have to learn so much more. You have to learn cross-ups, play styles, defense, a play style of your own. To melt your brain even further, you need to learn every other character to a certain degree. You can't just go in and play blindly against an opponent and expect to succeed just because you know your character pretty well. You need to learn their character's best normals, their mix-ups, their special moves, their frames, their priority, and all the ranges of all the aforementioned mechanisms. So if we talk about Street Fighter 4, you need to learn 43 other characters to a certain degree to have success in the game. Now let that sink in. Once you've done all of that, congratulations. You got down all the basics. Now it's about mastering your character and crafting your own style of play. How much time did that take to explain all this? And that's only to a small degree, guys. And I feel like we didn't even get to play difficulty and learning curves. This process takes months, even years for some players. And it depends on the game, and it depends on how easily you learn things. For me, I started out playing Injustice. And compared to Injustice, it plays very different from Street Fighter and Killer Instinct. But it was easy. It was an easy fighting game to jump into because you had strings. You didn't have to really worry about you didn't have to worry about frames too much, because all you cared about is what was safe and what wasn't safe. And if you know if something wasn't safe, then you can punish it. And then I would learn all the other characters, their most common strings. Actually, not even their most common strings. Well, their most common strings would be the safe strings that they do. And if it would end in an overhead, if there was an overhead in the string, if there was a low. You learn every other character to a certain degree. It takes time, guys. It does. But once you learn the basics of a fighting game and start to really dive into it, it is so rewarding. It is so much fun, because then you really go as far as you want to go. You really learn to master your character. You can never master a game. You might master a character, but even if you master your character, that doesn't mean that you're going to win all the time against every other person, because you need to know that character to a certain degree. And there's so much more to fighting games than just that, what I've just shared with you all. If you've never been a fighting game player, let me know why you don't want to get into a fighting game. Is it really the time investment? You just don't want to spend that much time on one game? If you are a fighting game player, let me know what you think about what I have to say, if you have any other things you want to throw in there or add in there. But thank you guys for watching, for sticking around for the whole video. I really appreciate it. Guys, give fighting games a chance, man. Give fighting games a chance. You cannot just play it for a week or 2 weeks and then, hey, I'm done. No, you have to put in some time. You have to put in some time to realize what this game actually is if you really like the game, because you never know, guys. You never know. If you've never given fighting games a chance, you might actually fall in love with fighting games and continue to look forward to them every single year and play in tournaments if that's something that you would be interested in. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about what I had to say. My name is Shermaine. I'm out. Peace. Have a good day.